Welcome to Love and Trauma, the real deal. I'm Danielle Sebastian, best-selling author, coach, and yes, I've been through the marriage trenches myself. This show is all about how to actually deal with trauma in relationships and make it work without losing your mind. If you're ready for honest talk, no fluff, and tools that cut through the noise, tune in, because let's face it, love can be a bit of a mess, but it's a mess worth figuring out. This is Love and Trauma, the real deal. What if your own healing became the very thing that helps others find theirs, especially the next generation? Welcome back to Love and Trauma, the real deal. If you joined us last week, you were there for part 1, where you witnessed the raw and powerful story of Dr. Lamia Kapi. She is a high-achieving pediatrician who hit rock bottom after years of overgiving, perfectionism, and unresolved trauma. We talked about the unraveling and how she ended up being labeled a disruptive physician and was basically asked to go to treatment by the hospital that she worked for, and how this burnout wasn't just physical, but emotional, relational, and deeply personal. I am just so thankful for Dr. Lamia for being able to be so vulnerable and raw on our story to talk about what that looked like for her. So let me tell you just a little bit about this guest. So Dr. Lamia Kapi is a pediatrician. She's the author of Just What the Doctor Ordered, 5 Pillars of Optimal Health. She's a TEDx speaker on the critical link between sleep and burnout. She empowers perfectionist mothers and professionals to stop overgiving and start living through mindful self-leadership and self-compassion, all rooted in her own journey of trauma and transformation. So today, we're going to pick up with pillar 2 of her book, of those 5 pillars of optimal health. We got through pillar 1 last week, but we wanted to pick up on pillar 2. And this is what it actually looks like to begin the slow, courageous climb out of burnout and back to yourself. But I also wanted to interview Lamia on her experience as a pediatrician. So we're also going to explore how her personal healing is changing the way she practices medicine. She's helping to support trauma-impacted kids and families with deeper empathy, clarity, and compassion. We'll talk about the ripple effect of unresolved trauma in children and what it truly means to create safety for them, not just in homes, but in schools, clinics, and communities. And if you stick to the end, what Lamia shares about how we as a society can do better for our children, it really left me speechless. It's that powerful and that urgent. This is the conversation we all need to be having. So let's dive in.
Emotional health, which is basically what happened to you. Okay. Yeah. It's what happened to you. What's your story and why you do these things you do, and why it's like, okay, what was your childhood like? And know your temperament, know your attachment style, know your how you handle relationships and your personality trait, and heal it. It's not mental health, it's emotional health, and you need to work on it. You really have to dig deep, and you have to heal it.
And would you say talk therapy?
There's so many things. I think so. First of all, once you learn, talk therapy is one of them. Lots of people don't like self-help books. I personally like self-help books. I've learned from every book you read, you'll get at least a couple things, if not more. Okay. I believe in also like talking to family members, talking to your friends. I mean, your best friend can be much better than a therapist. We know. Social, your social, like your environment. So it's not just therapy. It's also like, it's like who is in your village. I use the concept of village in my practice. And who's in your village? Okay, who can you count on? Who can you call? Who can you trust? I mean, when you go out for a walk with your best friend and you just talk, this is therapy.
Yeah.
Right?
It is for me.
Yes. I mean, and for me, and definitely for me. I mean, I was like, and this is why female are much better
Yeah.
in expressing emotions than guys, because guys talk about like what, sports and cars and, you know, and so, and then girls dig deep and talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So,
and then what's three?
Three, if we're going to mention mindful eating is
Okay, I could do
follow.
better at this.
Yes. So
Tell me.
I follow the rule. I follow the rule of 80-20. 80% of the time I eat really healthy. So I eat really, I mean, like whole food healthy. And I don't strive for 100%. I'm okay with 80%. So that my goal is 80%. And I use, there are two things I teach. I use this. I look at the piece of cake and I say, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't, right?
Yes. And you look at it, and sometimes you say, you know what? Maybe. And you try a bite and no, leave it. Leave it.
And
just
sometimes you're like, this is the best thing I've ever had.
Yes. And I'm going to have, you betcha I'm going to have it. Right? Okay. And the other thing, hold on. So I said two things. So did I forget?
Yeah, you did say two things. Okay. Sorry.
It's like, no, it's just like, so is it worth it? And it's going to come to me. It's, what else do I say? Oh, I say, I treat myself to this. Yeah. I don't say I cheat, because all of us say we have a cheat day or we cheat, or I cheated. Like,
oh, I like treat better.
It's just like I treat myself because I'm worth it. I was like, so I treat because it has more positive impact or positive affirmation or a connotation to it than I cheated. Cheated makes you feel negative about yourself.
Shamed.
Yes.
You're shaming yourself. It's okay.
So why do I say I cheated? And so it was funny because I did that in one of my talks, and my manager said, I changed the way I talk to like people now. It's like, how do you treat yourself? Like, you know, it's just like, and obviously if you treat yourself every day, all day, that's not, you know, that's not mindful eating. Another thing I talk about with mindful eating, I don't do any screen time when I'm eating. I do not. I don't, I mean, unless I'm snacking on popcorn at nighttime and that's in front of TV, but meals, guilty during my lunch hour. I mean, I do eat it, but then at the same time, I'm doing charts, but at the same, like, I know, like I'm eating and then I do my charts, but then at nighttime.
Do you separate it?
I do.
Are you pretty good at it? I'm terrible at work.
No, I'm not pretty good at it, but it's almost like, but I make it work. But if I feel I'm not really looking at my food, I'm just like, okay, I need a break. Okay. And then
it doesn't take long, right? I mean,
it doesn't. But dinner time, I make sure dinner time when I come home, no TV, no phone, nothing. It's just the food and it's my plate and I. Okay. So it's like, and so that's mindful eating. And when I go shopping, I don't go when I'm hungry, and I shop the periphery. Do you know what that is? So when you go shopping, shop the periphery. Because in every whatever, exactly. In every store you go to, what do you see? So you have your produce, right? When you first walk in, and then depends meat. Mine meat, dairy, like, you know, eggs, right? Okay, so it's like, and then, so I try not to go in the middle where the packaged food is, unless I purposely need something. Okay, so that is also another thing.
Okay. And then
what
what's
else?
after mindful?
And after mindful eating, it's physical activity, which we all like should be, because it does make you happy. It does. It's like there's no doubt about it. The research that when we work out, we actually release molecules that called happy molecules. They make you feel happy. As much as if you hate workout, that's fine. You're going to feel better after you work out. So pushing yourself.
I'm a runner. I like to
Yay.
run and stuff. And
Mhm.
so we call it type 2
Runner.
fun.
Uh-huh.
Type 2
Ooh,
fun, where it's
okay.
not fun when you're doing it, but it's
Uh-huh.
so good when you're done.
Yes. No doubt. No doubt.
Either
And
way,
it's
it
like,
can either be type
uh-huh.
1 fun where you have fun
Okay.
doing it, or
Uh-huh. Yes. I have fun doing biking and yoga.
do
I'm type
you?
1. So
Yeah.
biking, when I used to run, probably that was type 2.
Yeah, it is, right? But I
I
also do
love
the
it.
cycle. I cycle
Yes.
with the
Yes.
music and this, and that's
Yes.
type 1 fun for
That's
me.
type
So,
1. Yes. So I
mhm.
do biking outdoors. I'm not an indoor cyclist. Don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't enjoy it. But I am a biker and I am in a state of flow. And most of my content comes when I am
You're doing
either
that.
biking or meditating in the morning. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. So physical activity. I mean, I'm just like, there's no doubt. And it's like, again, do what you love. Do
Do
what
what
you
you love.
love and start small and go with a friend, pay for the class so you feel like committed to go. I mean, there are lots of little tips that you can, you don't have to run marathon. If you want to, that's fine. But it's like, I wanted to do triathlon this year, but then I fell off the bike. I can't do a triathlon. I'm fine. It's okay. I'll do something else. So it's like but
Yeah.
stay active. Stay active. This is very important. And
Yeah.
the last is intentional breathing. Use your breath as your anchor.
Okay. I like this one.
So yes, and it's many of us we do not practice diaphragmatic breathing. Do you know about the diaphragm? Diaphragm it's an umbrella muscle that separates the abdomen from the chest. And, it's like most of us, we do
Deep
chest
into
breathing.
the diaphragm, right?
Correct.
You
Deep
want to
into the
get,
diaphragm.
okay.
As a runner, you use
Yeah.
diaphragmatic breathing. You,
You
right?
have
I mean,
to.
you have to. You have to. Otherwise, your chest is hurting, your neck is hurting. Many of us have chronic shoulder pains, or we hold tensions in our shoulders. I used to, because we use chest breathing, and like we use the chest and here to breathe, and we do not use our abdominal breathing, and don't take we don't use our nose to breathe. Many people are mouth breathers, and that is also can affect their
Hmm.
well-being and their sleep. So learning how to breathe, like the diaphragmatic or abdominal breathing, is essential for our well-being and our health. I really believe you can heal lots of things through the breath. I mean, God created we breathe. We're not breathing, we're not here, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, this is why I feel like practicing intentional breathing, and there are different ways. There's like the four square breathing. There's the
What's that one? Because I keep
so
hearing about that
yeah,
one.
it's four square breathing or the box
Hmm.
breathing,
The
and
box.
yes, a box breathing or four
Yeah.
square breathing. It is created during one of the wars. I think it's probably in Iraq, and one of the soldiers, after got injured, as like, and he's escaping, like his to safety, he start breathing this way, and then it became a thing. It's
Hey,
funny. It's just like,
okay.
so you basically, it is, you breathe. So you breathe for four. One, two, three, four.
Okay.
Breathe in, breathe out
Hold
for four.
or breathe
Yes.
out.
Okay. So you hold it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you breathe in for four, hold it for four, breathe out for four, hold it for four, repeat 4 times. That's 1 full minute of mindfulness.
Oh, okay.
So
That's totally
16.
doable.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
Okay.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeated
Times 4.
1 minute. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, repeat it 4 times, and that is 1 minute of mindfulness. And you can practice this throughout the day. Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
I just think mindful from what
Hmm.
breathing, not mindfulness, but breathing,
Yes. Uh-huh.
like one of the thing that helped me the most with to keep myself regulated.
Mhm.
It,
Yeah. Yep. I
it
love it.
really
Yes. And then there's
like
two
it's
other
different.
things in the morning when you wake up to motivate yourself. And it is, so your inhalation should be longer than your exhalation. So it's like,
Yeah.
so it's that, because
Okay.
this will give you energy. And do the opposite at nighttime. your exhalation should be longer than your inhalation. So you're
At night to
at
go to
night,
sleep. Yeah. Okay.
relaxing. So energizing in the morning, inhalation longer, relaxing at nighttime, exhalation longer.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
I love it. And I also I know that I love the Calm app
Yes, of course. Yes.
and all those things. Those
Yes.
are I would recommend those to anybody.
Apps, there are so many good apps
Mm.
from, yes, Insight Timer, Calm, Happier. There are quite few apps
There's a lot
that
of them.
mindfulness. Yes.
Yes. I love that helps me, I guess, do
Mhm.
it more than me just saying I'm going to do it for a minute.
Yes.
If I can turn something on, it seems to help me. So
No, not. Do you meditate at all, or you use just the breathing?
just on there, I do like
Mhm.
it's like 7 minutes. Aren't you proud of me?
Nice.
7 minutes
Very nice. Yes.
meditation.
Yes, that's
On there.
fantastic. Yes, yep. No, it's powerful, and
Yes.
for people who meditate or want to meditate and they feel like they cannot, because this is really important. It's meditation is not like quieting the mind. Meditation is sitting with your thoughts and
Mm.
then just realize, oh, I'm thinking. Oh, I'm thinking. Just remind yourself and use your breath as an anchor instead of like saying, oh my gosh, I'm thinking, I can't do this. I'm just like, oh, let me breathe again.
I
This
think there's a
is,
lot of
yeah.
perceptions. I'm a bad meditator. And all
Yes.
those, I actually had a friend say that the other day. I'm like, I don't think you
Mhm.
can be a bad meditator.
Right. No, so it's like you just sit with your thoughts. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
this is very important. And it's like, and I sit with my thoughts really a lot. So, mhm.
Yeah. Oh, well, that is amazing. Okay. I love those. They seem
Thank you.
very doable,
Hmm.
right? For
Yes.
people.
Yes.
But so impactful. Yeah, I wanted to switch gears just a little bit.
Sure.
Um, since you are a pediatrician,
Hmm.
because I obviously work with partners
Hmm.
who are married or are in a relationship with someone who experienced trauma,
Hmm.
usually have some childhood trauma associated with it. And I think that there's just a lot of lack of understanding if you didn't have a traumatic past, what it does to children and their
Hmm.
brains,
Hmm.
and how you see this happening. And so I would love for us to kind of switch gears to little kiddos brains and trauma, and what you've seen, how you see that in those kiddos.
Yeah. And trauma, again, does not have to be big T. Little
No,
traumas are just
it
as
doesn't.
important. Okay. And sometimes
Yes.
it's a word you hear that affects you and sticks with you and affects you negatively. And it freezes them. It freezes them. The children, just like, because they're emotional being and their brain has not, because again they were born with the emotional brain, their executive brain is not yet developed, so they have the the what we call the emotional brain, or the there's another name for it, but it's like reptile, like, so it's going to come to me that what name we use.
Okay.
But it's like, let's say it's like emotional brain, and that's like the first 3 years of life, also the most important. Maybe I want to expand maybe the first six even. And what happens with this, they don't know anything, they're reactive. They either smile or cry, right? Or they throw tantrums when they're toddlers. So until that, if it's a healthy parenting, healthy environment, they will start to connect with the higher functioning brain, and that is going to be well integrated. The best way I can describe it is not by me, it's Dr. Dan Siegel, who's a psychiatrist, is one of the, like, I admire his books and his work. You think about it as this is your emotional brain and this is your higher brain, and it's like as a fist. Okay, and you're
Mm.
making connection, there's no connection, and you're trying to make connection. If these connections get disrupted, they're not going to lead to healthy children or adults even, and they can get disrupted from infancy. It's how we talk to the children, is how we deal with the children, is how we look at the children, is how we treat them, and then sometimes what it's done to them. And it's they cope in a way that it's beneficial for them in that moment.
Yeah.
And that can be shut down, can be reactive, can be anger, can be withdrawal, can become a people pleasing, can become perfectionist, fixers, doers. And I mean, I can tell the parent who's been through things and how they are inflicting this without them realizing on their children. And my job is, and this is my calling now, my job is to help the parents understand their own past and take responsibility to heal it. And I say this, my children did not get better until I got better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
It can change. That's good news, actually. I mean, not good news, but it
yes,
means it's kind of good news because they
of
are
course
elastic. I don't know what the right word is.
Neuroplasticity. So
Yeah.
neuroplasticity. So that, yes, you are correct.
Mhm.
We have neuroplasticity. Obviously, until the age of 25, neuroplasticity is great. It may go down as we used to think after 25 you're fixed. So the child brain, by the way, the child brain does not mature until the age of 25. So when we call adults at the age of 18, they're not adults.
They're not. No. Well, I know that now. I have a 17-year-old. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, but I mean, seriously, they're
know.
not. Okay, so
No.
so until the age of 25, the child brain does not mature. Okay, and that's there are lots of neuroplasticity, meaning we create new neurons and we create new connections, healthy or not healthy. We can do this or we can do this, and we thought after the age of 25 you cannot change, but now we know neuroplasticity lasts all of our lives, maybe slower, but you have to be more mindful, and you have to be more consistent. Consistency is key and practice is key. And it's, as James Clear said it in his Atomic Bomb, it's not how long you practice, it's how many times you practice.
Yeah. Love that. Yeah, everybody can develop and tweak their coping mechanisms, I believe.
Yes.
It can be 100%. Done. It's not easy, be done. But it can.
It can be done. It definitely can be done. I mean, I know you work with this and you've seen it firsthand. I know how my relationship with my children changed and became an amazing relationship, and how my children.
Old were they? How old were they? So one was 11, right? When you
my daughters were teenagers when everything happened. So 17, 14, and hold on. No, when the divorce happened, my son was only 7. My kids, they're 4 years apart, the first two, and then 7 years with the third one. But my girls were teenagers. They were very traumatized. Yes. They were very traumatized. My son was actually better with the divorce because he was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you see, going back to the kiddos, could you tell in the kiddos that you saw? Because I know as a pediatrician, I didn't see my pediatrician very long. My kids didn't, they spent a little bit of time with them, but could you tell when the kiddos were struggling?
Banging your head against the wall, trying to navigate the complexities of a relationship impacted by childhood trauma, it doesn't have to be this daunting. When you're married to a partner with unresolved childhood trauma, it can feel like you're walking on eggshells, never quite knowing what will set them off. No matter what you try, It feels like there's always something triggering another emotional response that seems completely out of context. And the harder you try to fix it, the more discouraged you feel. So what's the issue here? Navigating marriage with a trauma survivor is different. The love languages don't work. Date nights don't work. Self-help books don't help. But here's the good news. I've created something that does work. Something built from years of hard-earned lessons and real-life experience. Ready to take the first step toward real change? Let's talk. I'm offering a free one-on-one call where we'll dive into what's going on in your relationship and figure out a way forward together. This isn't just another quick chat. It's a chance to finally be heard, to share what you're going through with someone who truly gets it. No judgment, just real support. So if you're ready to start making sense of it all and find a little more peace in your marriage, book your free call now. Your happiness, your peace, and your relationship are worth it. Let's do it together.
Yes, I can. And many times it comes, for example, I'm going to give you an example. And this kid, yes, I can. And many times it comes, for example, I'm going to give you an example. And this kid, family of three, beautiful family. The parents are very mindful, they're very good. And mom calls me one time and I was like, I need to see you. He was 6 at that time. And he's like, I need to see you. I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's not my son. He's just angry. He's just angry. He's tantrumy. He's already 6. This never happened before. Okay. We're talking. We're just talking. And I have a way of pulling things out. And we're talking. I was like, was recently bullied in school. yes, I asked issues and didn't know what to do. And then when we talked about therapy, she goes, I don't want her to be labeled if she goes to therapy. Still, 2025, we believe therapy can be
Is
a
weak.
label. Yes. Yes. So
I do want to
yeah.
get to the cutting as a coping mechanism because that is,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very relevant these days. I've heard
Mm-hmm.
more examples. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just because my daughter is a teenager now,
Mm-hmm.
but it does seem to be something that's come more to the forefront. But first, I want to quiz you just a little bit. So, just for example, my husband's abuse was in the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
It started at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
5-ish.
Mm-hmm.
If what should parents be on the lookout for at these young ages for signs that
Mm-hmm.
something could be wrong?
Change of behavior. Change of behavior. Change of behavior. And it could be from anger to shut down, to withdraw, and those are the major ones. And to guilt, feeling guilty, to crying, excessive crying, to fights with siblings, fights with parents, and or the opposite, also to do more because they feel like they're not good enough, and why did that happen to them, and then how they're and fear. There are lots of, I mean, so many emotions there. um I, I suffered from also being molested as also very similar to that age,
Young age.
very young. And that so what we feel is guilt, shame. We feel, why couldn't I say anything? And then fear, and then you feel that you are a participant, you are a partner in it.
Right. It's very confusing. I can only
It's
imagine how
yes,
confusing
it
that
is.
is to a kid.
Yes. Very confusing. And you blame yourself. I mean, you blame yourself for, and this is like the parents' job. And many parents, they just don't see it. Something happened to my own daughter when she was a teenager. And to be honest, I mean, I'm the pediatrician. I thought she was on drugs. I was like, I'm going to take you. And I was like, because she was in high school. And I was like, I'm going to take you. I'm going to like run drug screen. And what it was similar incident that happened to her as well. And we did not know. And we did lots of therapy with her, lots of therapy. And we did not know what happened until like 4 years later.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just so hard to deal with. But so
Mm-hmm.
if you are seeing changes in behavior like you
Mm-hmm.
described,
Yes.
what should you do?
So I take a whole history. I take like entire, like I dig deep. I dig deep with the parents. I was like, what's going on? I ask the child. I ask a lot about friends I love, and it could be like a very simple thing. As I said, I ask about the school. I ask about the playground. I ask about their neighbors. I ask about the family members, cousins, uncle, all of it, okay. And I was like, and the family dynamic, okay. And then I to get the communication going between for the parents to understand why the child is behaving this way, and then to get to the story, to get to the bottom of it. And then we have to interfere, obviously. So sometimes we have to interfere with school. Sometimes we have to interfere within like the family dynamic. Sometimes we have to.
What does that mean, interfere? What do you mean, interfere?
And say that again.
What do you mean, interfere?
Interfere. So interfere with the school, meaning is like, okay, we like the parents have to call the school and find out what's going on and why this and face it and face like
okay.
this. Yeah. So
yes.
okay, and then interfere with that, with the, like sometimes we have to call what we call CPS or DCFS, like, so it's a child protective services, which is always hard to do. Like if we feel like if we feel that the child is in danger or at risk in the house, in the home environment. And unfortunately, that happens still more than, we would like to see. Sometimes also we obviously therapy is a big one. We send for therapy, and because I cannot do it all in my practice, so I have to count on my resources. And therapy is always, it's like I send tons to therapy. So many kids I sent to therapy.
Is it easy to find therapists for peds?
Now it is. Now it is.
is.
Now it's in my
Okay.
maybe I'm lucky, or maybe I dug deep into the resources. We are seeing more and more therapists right now. And when my daughter was in therapy, we had to change 5 different therapists until we found the one that she connected with.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to point out, is that it needs to be a good fit, or it could do more damage, right? Be open to your kid's opinion.
Correct. And then parents need to know that therapy is not easy, and it's a long process. Healing is never a straight line. Healing takes time. And kids, the younger they are, who experience trauma, this is why play therapy, and this is why take time, because their attention span is very limited. It's seconds only. And then
I can only imagine.
Yes. So that you notice, you can interact with them, you can engage, and then they go on to do something else. You lose them. And
it's going to take a lot of time.
Yes, it's going to take a lot of time. So that therapy with young children or with teenagers, goodness gracious. Okay, it takes a very long time, and it takes trust.
Yes.
It takes
and to me, that's so important to understand for parents and partners and everybody.
Yes.
Understand that trust has to be built, especially if it's about abuse.
Yes.
Because those perpetrators are masters.
Yes. I mean, it is just
at shaming them and keeping them and brainwashing them from telling anyone.
Absolutely. It's awful. It's just awful. I mean, it's just threatening them.
Yeah, absolutely. Threaten the family. Threatening
the
people they love. Yes. It's really, so it's about, in my opinion, with the kiddos, it's about long-term, go into it with a long-term approach.
With the love and care and patience. Yes, it takes, I mean, therapy is cornerstone. And like one of the really good books that's it's a What Happened to You. It's such a good, right? Oprah was one of the, like, and I forgot his name. Can't remember his name. I should remember. Really good book. And so it just talks about these things, and that kids need lots of love, care, and patience when it comes to therapy.
Agree.
To build the trust.
Agree. Okay, so let's talk about the cutting. Why is this a mechanism? It's hard for
and it is for me. It's just it's just like that. What they say, it's their way, because they feel like they cannot fit in their own body. This is almost like it's a release. Like when they cut, it's almost like they are releasing that much pressure and tension.
Literally,
it's like literally like a pressure cook. Like it's like they're letting that steam out, and they have no other way to do it except. I'm just like, literally, that's what they're doing. And it's a cry for help, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to get caught. So it's like, it's an extreme inside pressure build up. But at the same time, to me, it's one of those signs that it's a cry for help, because somebody's going to see it.
Yeah, eventually.
Hopefully.
Is there also just something about for these kids that just feel dead inside? I'm just curious. Is it dead inside or numb?
Yes. extremely
that part
numb.
of it as well?
It
And
is,
then
yes,
they'll
they
do
are.
anything to
Yes,
feel even
yes,
something.
to feel, because they feel
Okay.
like so numb. So it's like, it's like, I want to feel something. Absolutely. So absolutely true. Absolutely.
Multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
boy. Yeah, I think I was listening to something where it was a therapist and she works with girls,
Mm-hmm.
adolescent girls. And she was talking to one of her clients and she said, didn't somebody bring you in sooner or something
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
that? And the adolescent said, because I told my mom not to. And can you believe she didn't? She listened to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just blew me away
Yes.
because I think that is when you're talking about adolescents,
Mm-hmm.
they are very convincing,
Mm-hmm.
but when they need
Yes.
help.
Yes, it's actually more complicated than this. Okay, so
Tell
I'm going to
me.
tell you. Okay,
Yes.
it's way more complicated than this, because if they're also not ready, the adolescent is not ready,
Yeah,
that
that's
is,
true.
many times you have to like how to approach it.
Okay.
And so I find it more challenging and more difficult to approach teenagers.
Yes.
And you have to build the trust. Obviously, if somebody new, luckily, because I don't take new patients, I know these patients. I've known them for many
Right.
years, and so
Right.
I have that report. I recently
Trust.
I saw like a report. I mean, I saw a boy recently with his dad because parents are having conflict with him, and the boy he's 14. I've been taking care of him since the day he was born, and the first thing I said to Dad, I'm gonna just tell you, I am a child's advocate.
Yeah.
Whatever we say here today, whatever we're saying, I'm gonna tell you from now, I am on his
His
side.
side.
Okay? And not
Mhm.
because he was right or wrong, because he's a child.
Yeah.
14 is a child.
Mhm.
And at the end of the conversation, I spent a really long time with them, and I have the luxury of doing that, by the way. I mean, it's like, because lots of, as you know, doctors have like, you have 15 minutes and
15
blah, blah, blah.
minutes. It's
Yes.
so
And
sad to me.
for me,
Yeah.
I know when I know how to do it. I know how to do it. And it's fulfilling to know how to do it.
Mhm.
It's, I can still make my numbers. Let me just put it this way for the
I
hospital. I can say,
understand what you're saying. I understand that what you're saying. You're
just like,
manipulating a
yeah,
little
just
here
like
and
I'm
a
like,
little,
I guess, yeah, exactly, and
whatever
I
you
still like
need
take
to
it.
do,
So exactly,
I
because my
say.
job is to take care. My job is to take care of
Mm,
those patients.
yeah.
uh and at the end, even the dad asked me, you don't think he needs therapy? And I'm like, oh no. And if things change, I asked the dad, what do you want? Three things. Okay, and then let's be realistic, and what can we do out of those things? Let's start small and then we can build it. And dad said something to me, or in the beginning, he goes, since the day he was born, I dedicated my life to blah blah blah. And I go, we don't have children to make them feel guilty or to tell them, I've been here for you, blah blah blah. We have children because we want to, because we love them unconditionally. And that's why we have them, not to guilt them, not to make them feel shame. And that's when the child started to, because he did not want to come, by the way. So it's like, when the
Yeah.
mom called, he did not want to come. And you can see that a weight is lifted off his shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to have the right
Teenagers are so
approach.
hard, but you're so right. Because it's really hard to make them
Mm-hmm.
go. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the important thing is to keep trying and try different ways to get them in. Would you agree?
Yes.
Especially if they're cutting?
Absolutely. Oh, cutting, I
Mhm.
have to, I send. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
if I have somebody with suicidal ideation and stuff, oh, we send them to the emergency room. I was like, this is not like, and that's the
Right.
mom. And so when it is
Uh-huh.
there, if there is risk, this is when we say it's like, absolutely, you're going. The
And you
parents are
would say
taking them.
cutting is a risk.
Cutting the risk, but
In-
not, you do not send to the emergency room for it.
No,
No,
right.
But it's a high
Okay.
risk. No, it's a high
Yeah,
risk.
it is high risk, but
It is. Most people who do cutting, because they're crying for help, they agree to therapy.
true. That, yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Again, every situation is different. I wish I can give you like,
I know,
like one,
right?
it's everyone is different. Every situation. Again, this boy, I did not think he needs therapy. He needs just communication with
Well,
his
that's
parents.
interesting
Yes.
too. Because
Yes.
some parents are like, give him the pill.
Right.
Like they want
Uh-huh.
it.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, no. And then some kids,
Just being
I
a
have,
normal
yes,
teenager.
yeah, right, exactly. And such a good
Right.
kid. And then
Yeah.
and then some kids I say, you know what? You don't want therapy now? That's fine. But I'm gonna give you the referral anyway. And I want you to think about it. Okay? I want you to talk to your friends about it, because peer pressure is extremely important.
Effective.
Very very effective in their, like, for teenagers. And there, I can tell you, I have teenagers that's they talk about their therapist, and it's like, oh, my therapist said this and this, and then another one would say, and this is within my family, and the other one would say, that's like, I wanted to go to therapy, but my mom said that we cannot afford it. And I'm like,
It is becoming more normalized, I would say.
it is. I
would
mean, yes, like,
say.
so yes, which is a good thing, obviously. Yes.
So I have loved our conversation. And so I have just kind of one last question for you. And that is, what do you think we can do better as a society to help these kiddos that have these coping mechanisms from their childhood that has become destructive?
Yes. Learning how to connect before you correct.
Ooh.
Learn how to connect. Yes.
Before
So
you correct.
connecting. Yes. Learn how to communicate with the child. Meet them where they are. They need help. And it is our job as parents, as society, as healthcare, as educator, as everything, to be able to see, to observe. It's the power of observation and noticing, realizing there's something happening in this child's life. And then how to connect with them on their level before you take action, before you just yell at them or tell them or punish them or
Send them to therapy.
send them to therapy to learn
Yeah.
how to connect with them. It is really important. I'm guilty when my children were young because I was not mindful. I wasn't in a good place. And I want the parents to own their story and to heal themselves. You cannot connect with your child if you are not connected with yourself. You really need to, and that's my work. That's what I do on social media. That's what I do in my practice. I want to empower parents to work on themselves and with their own story. Therefore, that's when they can help their children and learn how to communicate and connect with them before they correct.
That's amazing. I love that. That is amazing. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done and how you have been able to use, your rock bottom to help others. And I know that your story will help so many people who are going through the same thing. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was meaningful, very meaningful and awesome. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing. An amazing interview. And I just want to get right into the real deal. My 3 biggest takeaways from the second episode that I had with Dr. Lamia Kotbi. So Dr. Kotbi's 5 pillars of optimal health are the exact tools that we need to stop surviving and start healing. So sleep, nutrition, movement, mindfulness, and connection. These 5 simple practices are the foundation of well-being. But ironically, when we're most burned out, they're the first things we abandoned. So let's let this be a reminder for us that are in survival mode that it isn't about doing more. It's about reclaiming the basics that you've put on the back burner. Number 2, I want you to take note of behavior changes in kids are often red flags, and we need to act early. This one hit close to home. My own husband didn't speak a word about his childhood abuse until he was in his 40s. The trauma came from someone no one would have suspected, and that's often the case. So Dr. Copy emphasized how subtle changes in behavior, withdrawal, anger, regression, can be signs that something's wrong. Sometimes the pain is hiding in plain sight. And sometimes it takes someone outside of the home, a pediatrician, a therapist, or a teacher, to ask the right questions and piece it together. So trust your instincts. Don't wait. Our kids deserve to be seen and protected. And the number 3 thing that I want you to take away from this interview was connection has to come before correction with kids and adults. This one was a game changer. Dr. Copy reminded us that children often don't need more punishment. They need to feel safe, understood, and connected. And I've seen this play out in marriages too. In my own relationship and in the couples I coach, dysregulation often shows up as blame, distance, and shutdowns. But when we pause and connect first, when we get curious instead of critical, that's when we can break those cycles. That's when true change can happen. And that's how we stop managing behavior and start healing the root. This interview was really more than a conversation to me. It was a wake-up call, and it left me more committed than ever to help partners, parents, and providers understand that healing doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives around you. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week.
All right, that's a wrap for today on Love and Trauma, the real deal. Big thanks to my guests for sharing their insights. Couldn't have done it without you. Now, for those of you looking to take this journey further, I've got something special. Head to my website to grab Real Tactics, Real Healing, a survivor's playbook for navigating a relationship with a trauma survivor. It's packed with everything you need to know, do, and say to navigate the emotional minefield, find your balance, and regain your self-worth and happiness.